morning and welcome to today's Arch Capital update. I hope you all remain well. Obviously with some exciting news that the Freedom Day is near, so a few weeks until we can get out and about and see people we haven't seen and get outside of our LGAs. So with that in mind, one of the most common questions we get with pre-retirees and retirees is, well, how much will I need and how much will I spend? And it's an interesting question because a lot of people, obviously it's a whole new world they're about to enter, and how much does it cost and what will people spend in retirement, therefore how much will I need, and lots of factors go into that. But one of the things at the moment obviously is that people haven't been able to spend as much. So we normally draw this chart, or we use our software, which you might have seen. That's a bit faint, I'll change the colour. You can see that a bit better now. I'll bring it a bit closer. And we normally say, okay, if you retire here, well, your expenditure, depending on how much money you've got in super, you're going to say, okay, well, I've got X amount here. I hope to live a long life. This might be in your 90s, 100, who knows. And I'm going to use my money in super, and hopefully there's a bit left when I am no longer here. Now, a lot of the statistics show that the reality is that most people leave the planet with a fair bit of money left in their super. So a lot of our questioning around is, how much should I spend here, here? But right now what we've seen is because a lot of that extra expenditure, like the day-to-day living has been probably about the same, but of course people haven't been able to spend as much on travel. So we've seen this expenditure drop down a bit across the board. And now, with things opening up again, I'm sure many of you are looking forward to travelling and getting out there and seeing parts of Australia or the world that you haven't been able to see for the last few years. So this expenditure will shoot back up. And part of our role is to help you, guide you through that and help clients through that decision making. Say, well, can I now go and spend much more than I have in the last year or two, and how will that affect my pool of assets? So if you're thinking about that, please reach out and we can go through this. We've got some nice tools that we can run through and software we can run through to explain that. Hopefully you'll be okay. And the likelihood is you're going to leave money behind to your in-laws, outlaws, whoever. So it's okay to go back and spend a little bit more money now. Now with that in mind, markets are a concern as well, because then people say, well, what happens if markets drop or markets go up, etc. I'm just going to swing around. Now we know that the markets at the moment have been reaching record highs and people are concerned that maybe that will end. This is a chart, it's by Vanguard. It shows the long-term history of market returns, and all the way back, this is to 1991 to 2021. And it charts the different returns, what was going on in the world, the different presidents, the different prime ministers, and the rates of return. So in the last year, we've seen 30 plus returns from equity markets. But if we go over 30 years, that compound return, that long-term return from Australian shares and international shares is actually close to 9-10%. And we go into other markets, it's all pretty steady. So we know the story. We know the story that long-term investing makes sense, and often 60-year-olds are a bit concerned about the short term. But hopefully, they're going to live another 30 years or so. So we're still talking about a fairly long time frame for investing. So I hope that helps. Number one, if you've got concerns now about, well, I'm about to spend more money, how is that going to impact my savings and retirement fund? Give me a call, speak to me or one of the team. And if you're worried about markets and where they are at the moment, of course, we can run through some numbers there as well. Hope you're well. Look forward to seeing you all when Freedom Day comes around. Thanks.